And then this is the progressive regress. So this was looking at the moon phases, which we read out. There's the long sheet of the moon, just all the aspects, and the progress to progress. It's like there is a thing which we pointed out last time. When an aspect happens into the natal chart to progress, did it happen before? How many years before or after did it happen? Then they progress to the transits. So with the sun moves quite a bit, so there could be a lot of years between when Mercury might conjunct the sun by the natal chart and the progress chart, two very different things. But again, in May 24, progressed sun opposes Jupiter. So we had the Jupiter opposing the sun in the transits, or Pluto squaring the Jupiter, and the Jupiter opposing the sun, forcing adjustment. And here it's happening again in the progression. So there certainly implies a big shift in her outlook on life. Tremendous transformation or challenges. How does our outlook on life change? It doesn't change unless we have challenges in our life. So we go for time. Okay, we're almost there, but I'm going to spend another 15 minutes, a little bit longer, maybe half an hour, because I want to look at the I Ching hexagrams because some interesting things happening. Here's her progressed sun. It's going in September 10th, 19, it went at 15 degrees Libra. And it goes to 16 degrees Leo over this year. And then just after that, it will oppose the moon. So the progressed sun is just coming up to the point where it's moon's at 16, it's going to oppose the moon. That's finishing off the stuff with the moon Pluto. It's figuring things out. So I want to look at the hexagrams for these, but I'm going to look at them more. This is just the printout is just giving the planets the sun's position every 90 every degree. Does it for the birth date, but then puts the actual listing out for each degree and then puts the aspects in. So it's a short printout. So on one page here, we've got this year ahead. Well, this has gone about 10 years ahead, but we're just going to go to a more magnified version of that, 2 lines. And here's the 2 lines. We're progressed somewhat at 15 degrees Leo at the top. It goes down and this actually goes to 1630. Goes to 1.5 degrees. Because I wanted the red line is where the opposition comes to the moon. It's a major completion. But between that, you have the shifting hexagrams and pentens. And they don't use them all the time. Sometimes they just provide this extra little current or story going along with this. So I've highlighted it so you can see it. I'm going to look at this more closely, but right now, the 1 degree on the first level hexagram, it's a hexagram 56, line 4. It's in that for the whole year, for that whole year till September 2020. It's in that one line of one hexagram. It happens to be the hexagram of the wanderer, which implies the traveling, the wandering. We're going to go through this, and she has been searching for light on the mountain. Then it changes, it stays in 56, and it goes into line 5 for 2020 till September 2021. So there's a shift in the line. That shift will show distinctly in a lifetime. You'll see the shifting phase. But before this, from 2019 to 2018, it would have been in line 3. Then the line 17 to 18, and then 2017 to 18 would be line 2, and 2016 to 17 would be in line 1. So from 2016 until 2023, it's inside the hexagram of the wanderer. This is a theme in her life. And she has been traveling and searching places all over the place during this time. So there's a little information, a little affirmation. So that's it. Then inside of this, this is a Libra with a Cancer face. So in this time period, while she's traveling, she's been going back to try and check with Dad, try and fix things. They didn't work out. They worked out. So she's going back and forth across continents, trying to put it together for herself. There's the Cancer theme inside the Libra, inside the Wanderer. But the Cancer has one hexagram for its whole year, for this, and it's in the hexagram of coming to meet. It's trying to get the sense, the beginning of Cancer, and but each 2 months has a line. One line, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, and it goes through a sequence. there's different meanings for each line that display the 2-month phases. So you have the wander going on for 6 years. You have this one line which has a meaning, and it's being focused on hexagram on coming to meet. She's been trying to meet parents and trying to figure things out, and it's not working out, but she's had to do it till she got to it. And then that would show the phases going through the individual lines on the second level. Inside of this, there's a Libra phase on the subpentance, and the subpentance on the inner level. And what that means is that as each year went through one line of this hexagram 56, you'll see that September to November 10th, it's in hexagram 33. That's the hexagram called retreat. Then it just gives the numbers, but when you look up the numbers, there's the name, the hexagrams, the degrees, the numbers, the hexagrams, and the names. But I'm not going to. It's too much to teach it all right now. But we've gone over this. Here's Libra. It goes through the retreat. Then it goes through influence wooing from November 10th till January 1st to January 11th. And January 11th, it goes into the Wanderer. So it's in line 4 of the Wanderer on the big level. And for over this 2-month period from January 11th till March 13th, it's going to the Wanderer again. So what this means is that each year of the last 4 years and the next 2 years is one line of the hexagram as the theme for that year. But she's going through in this 2-month period, the same steps as going on through the year is happening by the week, going through this. So there's a repeat. So it's been happening. I went through this, I went through that. Measuring things through the year, it's happening in a faster roll. The same thing, and it's coming up to a point where they're both in the same line of the same hexagram. That's the peak of this trending development. So so I've highlighted when each one changes the line, and as the line changes on the second level, it becomes a different hexagram. So it goes from the Wanderer into a preponderance of the small, into development, gradual progress. And then when gets into line 6, it changes, and it changes hexagrams. This next line goes into hexagram called obstructions. And then it goes to keeping still, then it goes to modesty, and then it goes into standstill. As soon as it hits this opposition to the moon, it goes into standstill, stagnation. So these are funny stories. They're funny names, but the teachings teach you how to deal with changes. The stories in the teaching teach you how to deal with change and give you ideas that are affirmative, that help you to work with the energies going on. And I found them so useful with the progressions. So I wanted to just read a few of these to show you this. Okay, I'm going to take the Wanderer. Okay. Oops. Here we go. We'll put the Wanderer here. Make it a little bit bigger so you can see it a little bit more. This is my I Ching book, but I'm going to get to the Wanderer. It'll be down a little bit here. Okay, here's the Wanderer. And we're looking at hexagram 56, line 4. So, okay. Here's the hexagram 56. 12 to 18 degrees Libra. The fire above, the water below. So we're just going to read through a few of these and go through it and just adding a layer of information on top of her because our situation is confusing and complicated. Some symbolical things might be really useful to lay in there, to be aware of in it as guidelines. So here, fire above, the mountain below. Clarity without, stillness within. One will rest beside the fire. One can see clearly, but will not chase after what is seen. It will be enough to count one's blessings and relax until morning. So that's the theme of the hexagram. Her nature is not the most relaxing nature. Fire in the mountain, a light on the path. A light on the path will attract wanderers. Food and drink and stories are shared in good humor. In the morning, everyone will go their own way. It seems as if the universe was made for this moment. Gratitude's about a moment when you belong and nobody owns anybody, no complaint, you're just there in the moment. That's part of the theme of things that she would relate to very clearly, rather than dependencies and expectations and other conflict. The body keeps still, but the mind wanders. If one can maintain inner composure, clarity will prevail. Words can disturb the universe and threaten peace. Light can be seen by all. Nothing need be said. One is challenged to remain tranquil. So again, the Aries moon is sitting there jumping, but it's saying be still, be calm. Accept the moment. Last one at Pentan. One wanders and searches for a place to rest. One sees what is good and moves towards it. There are independent voices and many insights. One sits by the fire, content to share. A moment's serenity is better than none. So, okay, that's the puzzle. It's going to go through each line, but I'm going to go first to line 4.